how's it going? This is the first time that I'm going to actually preface a video with some lessons learned. Cooked some pork loins and pork sirloins for our pastor. His daughter got married this past weekend. So, lesson number one was make sure everything gets done on time. Starting with actually getting the grill warmed up, getting everything ready to go to put on the grill. Yeah, I mean the meat got done. We had plenty of time between the time that the meat got done to having to cut it for the plates. It still got to sit for about 40 minutes or so. But it was still a for me it was a pretty stressful making sure I got everything done. Thankfully the pictures took a little longer than anticipated. That's why I had so much rest time for the meat, but if that hadn't happened, it would have been right down to the wire. Meat would have maybe had 5 or 10 minutes to sit and rest, which isn't all that long. Also, I had tried to make sure that everything would fit on the smoker. It looked like it may have, but really wasn't working out all that well, so I ended up using the kettle as well, which, you know, everything turned out fine with that one, but it was still the positioning of the meat on the smoker wasn't the greatest, and I think stuff could have been cooked a little bit better. When I took it out, there's some of the fat that was starting to gel up a little bit on there that I had to scrape off, instead of it just being having a nice bark around the meat. But I mean, that wasn't the biggest deal. It's just because the meats were a little too close to each other, and since it seemed like at first they were going to be able to all fit on there, and then once I got them all seasoned up and put on there, everything seemed to change. It's almost as if they grew a little bit, but it you know, should have just already planned on putting some on the kettle and going that route, so that way, like I said, could have had better positioning of the meat. Heat could have hit it a little more evenly, and the fat wouldn't have gelled up on the sides like I said it did. This smoke, I apologize for the actual cook. There's not a whole lot of detail, but I mean, you guys know, most of you guys probably know what it looks like to put meat on a grill and then to take meat off a grill. For the most part, I was working by myself, except for the last part, taking the meat off the grill, but I was in such a hurry to get it off there and get it wrapped in the cooler that I didn't really think or care too much to pull out the phone, which I'm videotaping all these on my phone, so that's why they seem to be a little shaky in some of my videos. But I didn't have anybody out there at the time that I was putting the meat on the grill or anything like that, so didn't get to see that or see how I positioned it. I did not open the lid on the smoker at all because I wasn't sure how things were going. I had the probe in the bottom, biggest piece of meat on the bottom rack, and temperature was going up on the meat pretty good. However, because there was so much meat on there, it was blocking a lot of the heat getting to the actual dome thermometer. My other probe that I had, that is a dual temp probe, I put on my kettle. I chose to do that because, well, as you'll see in the video, the transportation from my house to the church didn't go as smoothly as I had hoped, and the young gentleman whose truck it was sitting in, when he drove off, I guess he took a corner a little too quick, or just maybe not too quick, just the way it was sitting in there. It ended up falling out of the back of the truck and broke the handle off the lid, and so I wasn't overly certain how the thermometer on the lid of the kettle was going to work out, so I just put the dual temp probe in the kettle. So I didn't have a good accurate reading on the smoker. It sat, the actual dome temp on the smoker sat at 190 to 195 for about 2 hours. But again, the meat temperature was rising at a pretty steady rate, and overall it cooked. I had a little over 45 pounds, 46 pounds of meat, actually probably even more than that, on the smoker, and it all cooked in about 3 hours, which 3.5 hours, which is what I was expecting it to do. But it still, having that dual temp probe in the smoker would have relieved a lot of stress for me, because I was sitting there really working hard to try and make sure I got the temperature back up to where it needed to be, and then it was a little more stressful when it wouldn't get above 200. And so it, like, this is the first time I've cooked for this many people. First time I've ever cooked that much meat, period, on my smoker, and so it was a fun time. Would have been even better had I not been so stressed out about the temperature of the smoker. But other than that, everything turned out really good. Everybody really liked it. So I'll go ahead and just start the video on that one. Well, here we go. We're gonna try this. It got 54.5 pounds of pork here, combination of pork loins and sirloins here. Obviously these are the sirloins. All these are done with my own personal rub, minus this stack right here, and these two are minus one ingredient. I'll put the recipe in the description, but my rub has chipotle powder in it. We're cooking this all on my Weber 22.5 inch Smoky Mountain, possibly as well as my Weber 22.5 inch Kettle, for my pastor's daughter is getting married tomorrow, and I'm doing the cooking. So this may or may not feed the 230 plus people that are going to show up. Only they didn't expect that many when they bought the when they bought the meat, and the invitations came back with everybody RSVPing. So we'll see. But yeah, right now gonna get all these done and packaged up for tomorrow, and we'll see you when I start cooking this. Well, here we go. The day of, got the smoker going. Doing it with mesquite today, so we're gonna try and fit all of this onto the 22.5 inch WSM, just in case I got my kettle in the back there. So gonna start cutting this up here and cutting open the food saver bags and stacking it on there. It's getting up to temp pretty good here. Gonna be probably trying to keep it around 250, 275. Maybe that's just to make sure everything gets done. Otherwise I probably would try to do 225, but anyway, yep. And also gonna try out a new toy that I got as far as the thermometer goes. Bought this at Ace last night, the Charcoal Companion Dual Temp. At the moment I didn't feel like spending 50 bucks on the Maverick, but who knows, maybe later on down the road. So we'll see how this one works out. Anyway, yep, get this loaded up and see how it goes. Well, ran out of room on there, and it wasn't too much room. I only got 4 little sirloins left there, so I got the Weber going, got the kettle going. So once this thing gets up to temp here, gonna throw the rest of those on there. Got a little bit to go, so yeah, we're getting there. So I've been going at it for a little over 2 hours, 2.5 hours here. I'm thinking this is a very inaccurate temperature because we're almost right on schedule for having a temp here inside. I think just because I got like 45 something pounds of meat in here. It's not really the most accurate temperature, but that's holding strong. And then Kettle, see, it's missing a handle. A friend of mine drove it over here and fell out of the back of his truck, so you see the skid marks there. Handle broke off. It's sitting over in that pile somewhere, but keeping this steady. This stuff went on about 30 or more minutes afterwards, and you can see we got a pretty good temp there, 2 276 dome temp and 112 with the meat. So, yeah, that I wasn't sure to trust that, because the way I got it is this half is where the coals are, and then I got a partition with aluminum foil, and then all the meat's on this side. So wanted to have a good accurate temp, and the probe is right up here on the edge. So we're doing good. A little stressful, but doing good. Got about an hour and a half before the about an hour and a half before the food's ready to be cooked, so, or eaten. So should be good. At the rate this is climbing, everything should be going good. So we'll see.
What you taking that for?
For me.
Oh, I cooked
YouTube
this
and
on this
Facebook.
time. Oh, really?
Yeah. And this is how many people it fed. So, yep. Okay, so pulled it off at 155. I think these ones I pulled off at 145. Set for about 20 minutes. Yep. Good stuff. There's a happy customer right there.
I am. Thank you. Great meat.
So yeah, that's how things turned out. I want to thank the guys that were helping me out getting the meat off the grill, especially John, Russ, Todd, Mike. All you guys pressured me to cut one of those up for a taster. Thanks for helping me out at the end there. And yeah, so can't wait to do this one again.